It's a sad anniversary, 10 years of Guantanamo Bay, so it seems only appropriate to present a photo book that deals with Guantanamo Bay, the infamous legal black hole. This is Guantanamo If the Light Goes Out by Edmund. I think it came out a couple of years ago. I reviewed it in my blog. Edmund traveled to Guantanamo Bay, take photographs there, and he also met up with former prisoners. I think we like to call them detainees, as if that sounded better. Of course, a lot of the prisoners at Guantanamo Bay were released because there were no charges to be had against them. There's still, I think, at the time of this, the making of this video, there's, if I remember this correctly, 171 people in Guantanamo Bay. You have to add to that the unknown number of prisoners at Bagram Air Base in Afghanistan, which is rarely ever talked about. So there still is, a lot of stuff going on. President Obama promised and signed an executive order when he came into office to close Guantanamo Bay. That didn't happen. And here's a photographer trying to document. I'm saying trying because how do you document such a place and the things that happen there? Trying to document the experience of Guantanamo Bay. These are photographs, as I said, taken at the prison complex, and also photographs of, I think, taken in the homes of people who had to live there for a while. There's some text later that gives you a lot of background. Now this, as you know, all these images are mixed. There's no clear separation between the different elements. So here's a different part. It's printed on different paper. Text and explanations. This is Omar de Gais. I don't know, I'm probably not pronouncing the last name properly. He's a former prisoner there. This is identity wristband. And then these here are reproductions, I suppose, of reproductions. Whenever the prisoners get mail, they don't actually get the mail, they get a copy, which is then of course approved by US forces. It has a nice document number and everything. It's part of the system, and that's of course not unique to Guantanamo Bay, is that these kinds of places have a very strong and strict sense of bureaucracy in place. Now there's a big word for a small mouth. So this is, some of the material. This is what you would get if you happen to find yourself in that place. And it goes back to photographs taken by Edmund Clark. Page here. There's really not much to be said about this. I mean, what can you say anyway? The key, of course, is to talk about the issue and to not stop looking to find out what's going on, what's being done there. And here are more reproductions of these letters. You notice this is the actual address of the prison. It's the name of the prisoner, and then there's a post box, P.O. box in Washington, D.C. Just going to skip some of these here. You sort of get the idea. Don't want to necessarily present the whole book, because you really want to go out and, as always, look at the actual book yourself. So if I remember this correctly, I'm going to just skip to the end. Okay. I think at the end there are, yeah, so there's an essay. And I think there's a second essay after that. Both are very much required reading. Now this is Edmund Clark talking about his experience and making this work. And then there's the index of photographs, biographies of the photographer. This is the essayist. This is the prisoner who got released. This book was was published in 2010, so it's almost a couple of years ago. It's a Dewey Lewis production. Timely book. Guantanamo, if the light goes out, by Edmund Clark.